This is LSAT PrepTest 35, Section 3, questions 18 through 23. This is the fourth logic game of this test. Okay, so what does this tell us? It says exactly 7 professors, Madison, okay, so M-N-O, P, R, S, and T. So these are 7 professors. Were hired in the years 1989 through 1995. Okay, so 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. So 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, and 95. Okay. Each professor has one or more specialties, and any 2 professors hired in the same year or in consecutive years do not have a specialty in common. Okay, so it looks like what's going on is that they're hiding a rule in the stimulus to try to catch people who didn't read it, basically, right? So we have 2 pieces of information within the stimulus. The first one is that each professor has at least one specialty. Let's call it a spec, right? And the second one, and this one seems really important, is that you can't have 2 of the same specialty in consecutive years. You also can't have 2 of the same specialty in the same year, right? Because it says in the same year or consecutive years. So consecutive or in the same year. This seems like it's a really important thing for us to watch out for. Okay, so moving on. The professors were hired according to the following conditions. Okay, great. Madison was hired in 1993, Robinson in 1991. Okay, so Madison hired in 93, Robinson hired in 91. Great. Next, there is at least one specialty that M, O, and T have in common. So actually, let's go ahead and move this down here. Oops. And let's start filling in some more rules. Right? Okay, so let's actually move this even further down. So this is just stuff that we have to keep in mind. So our next rule says that M, O, and T, so this is rule number 2, it says that M, O, and T all share a specialty. Well, what does it mean to share a specialty? Well, we know that people with the same specialty can't be hired in consecutive years, can't be hired in the same year, right? So really all this is telling us is that these guys can't be anywhere near each other. So we don't know where O is, we don't know where T is, but look what we have here. We have M, right? So, which means that, okay, if M is here, then we know for sure that O can't be hired in the year before, the year during which M was hired, or the year after. And the exact same thing is true of T, right? Because they share a specialty, and so therefore, according to our rule down here, they can't share a year. Okay, great. What's our third rule? Our third rule says Nilsson shares a specialty with Robinson. Okay, so 3 is that N and R again share a specialty, which means we can do exactly the same thing, right? If we know R is here, so N can't be in 1990, 1991, or 1992. And this is where the light sort of clicks on in my head. Like, look, we're eliminating a ton of possibilities here, which means that we should have a pretty good idea by the end of these rules where everybody goes, right? And for the record, M and R are already taken care of. We know exactly where they are. So really, we're just looking to place these 5 elements in some kind of order. Okay, next rule. Patton and Sarkis were each hired at least 1 year before Madison and at least 1 year after Nilsson. Right, so Patton and Sarkis, both of these guys were hired a year before Madison, so they come before Madison. Both of these guys were hired after Nilsson. Right? Okay. And then let's go ahead and finish off our rules. So our 5th rule says that O and S share a specialty, and O is in 1990. Okay, so great. We figured out that, O obviously can't go anywhere else because he's in 1990. Okay, and so now inferences, right? So now that we know where O is too, we can go back to this rule, right? So we know that O can't be anywhere near M, it can't be anywhere near T, right? So we know that, well, we know where M is, so that's taken care of, but it can't be next to T in any way, right? Which means that T can't be in 90, can't be in 91, can't be in 89. Well, look what we just did, right? T can't be in any of these first 6 years, and we know it's got to be here. So T has got to be in the 7th year. So we have placed another element. Great. Okay, next. N has to come before P and S, has to come before M. Right? What does this tell us? Well, M is sort of the end, the end of this rule, which means that P can't go here, and neither can S. P can't go here, and neither can S. P can't go here, and neither can S. Right? Because they all have to come before M. right? And what else has to come before m? Well, n has to come before m. So n can't be here, n can't be here, n can't be there. Whoa, look what we did again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So n has got to be there, right? So we've placed yet another element. Now we're down to 3. Now we're down to, oh no, we've taken care of O, so really now we're down to 2, right? And then, what does our last rule say? It says that O and S share a specialty. So no S here, no S here, no S here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places S can't be. So it's got to be there. S goes right there. And now, literally, the only thing we have left to place is P. Right? And we know that P's got to come after N, so P definitely can't go here. So look at our options. P can be in 1990, 1991, or 1992. Right? From a list of 7 elements, because we followed our rules and just took them where they led us, we are now down to placing P in one of these 3 slots. He's either in 90, 91, or 92. And those are the only possibilities. Right? What that also means is that there's never anybody in 1994. Right? Because we placed 6 people, and the only person we have left to place cannot, under any circumstances, be in 1994. Right? So from just the information they give us, we have a ton of information to work with. Okay. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at the answers. Or not the answers, the questions that we have to answer. So, number 18. Which of the following is a complete and accurate list of professors who could have been hired in the years 1989 through 1991? So we're talking about 89, 90, and 91. So definitely we need N, O, and R, right? But then this question asks us a complete list of the professors who could have been hired, which means that, P, since it could be hired in 1990 or 1991, also has to be on this list, right? So N, O, R, and P. And which answer choice gives you that? Well, answer choice C gives you that. So that's got to be it, right? Okay, how about 19? If exactly one professor was hired in 1991, oh, okay. So see, this is what they're telling us. NORSM from 89 to 93, they're saying that exactly one professor was hired here. So in other words, let's reproduce this. NORSM, nothing, and T. We're looking to place P in one of these 3 years, right? And now they're telling us in 1991, nobody else was hired. So now P can't even go here. So there's basically 2 ways this can happen. Either P was hired in 1990 or P was hired in 1992. Right? And so then they ask us what could be true. Right. So, looking at answer choice A. Can Madison and Patton share a specialty? Well, why not? Right? If we put P here in 1990 along with O, then absolutely they can share a specialty. They're so far apart that it doesn't break our rule. Right? So answer choice A looks pretty good. How about B? R and S share a specialty? That's actually, that can never be true, because we know exactly where they are, right? Answer choice B is definitely out. How about C? P exactly 1 year after O? That's exactly what they told us couldn't happen, right? If R is the only one hired in 1991, that means P can't be here, which means that you can never have the situation described there. How about D? Exactly 1 professor was hired in 1994? Well, we know that 0 professors are ever hired in 1994, right? So yet another answer choice where our inferences immediately eliminate something. And then how about E? Exactly 2 professors are hired in 1993. No, because P, the only 2 options are 1990, 1992, and P here, violates this rule number 4, right here. Answer choice E also can't be it. So it turns out answer choice A is the answer to this question. All right, let's keep motoring. Number 20. Which of the following must be false? So answer choice A, Nilsson hired in 1989. That must be true, right? There's no way that's not true. How about B? Patton hired in 1990? That could be true. We can put him here. In fact, in this scenario, we could have just put him here. That was a scenario that led us to a correct answer choice here, right? So this could be true. So it doesn't have to be false. No way. Patton in 1991? Yeah, he could be here, right? Why not? So that could be true as well. Answer choice D. Sarkis in 92? Yeah, that's exactly where he is. Which means it's got to be E. Togo hired in 1994. Immediately we should know, because nobody can be hired in 1994. Right? So what we have here, we have a statement that must be true, statement that could be true, statement that could be true, and then another statement that must be true. And then this one is the one that must be false, and therefore this is our answer. Okay, number 21. Which of the following must be true. So let's take a look. Answer choice A, Orozco before Patton. Does that have to be true? No, because P could be hired the same year, right? So that doesn't have to be true. This one just could be true. How about B, Patton before Sarkis? The exact same thing as answer choice A, right? Because if P is hired here in 1992, then they're just hired at the same time. So this one, again, could be true. Answer choice C, Sarkis was hired before Robinson. S before R, that can never be true, right? This answer choice actually must be false. So there's no way you should be selecting answer choice C. Answer choice D, R before S, yes, we know that. That has to be true 100% of the time. And how about E, M before S, that's never true. Once again, must be false. Right? So it turns out answer choice D is the correct answer to number 21. And if you picked answer choice C and answer choice E or answer choice E, that just means that you set up the game incorrectly, because just looking at the way it's set up, there's no way that those can ever be true. It's not even a case that they could be true, it's that they cannot ever be true. Okay, how about 22? If exactly 2 professors are hired in 1992, full stop right there. We know exactly what's going on now, right? Because we have 6 of these guys, NOR, SM, and T, already placed. And so if they're saying that 2 professors are hired in 1992, that just means P is here as well. Now we've placed all 7 of our elements, so there is 0 way that we should be able to get this wrong. Right, so A, B, C, D, E. Answer choice A, O, P, and T share a specialty. O, P, and T share a specialty. Could that be true? Yeah, because they're not next to each other in any way. So this could be true. That seems pretty good. How about B, M, P, and T share a specialty? M, P, immediately, no, right? You know they can't share a specialty because they're right next to each other. Answer choice C, exactly 2 professors in 1991. No, there's only 1 because 2 of them are in 1992. Answer choice D, exactly 2 in 1993. Again, no, because the last one we have to place is in 1992. And answer choice E, Patton hired in 1991. No, because we need a second guy in 92, and that is Patton. So A is the correct answer here. And finally, question 23. They're saying now, if Patton and Madison have a specialty in common. Okay. So we have NOR, SM, nothing, and T. Right? And now we're saying that Patton and Madison share a specialty. In other words, that Patton cannot go here, which means that he is restricted to either of 1990 or 1991. Right? And so now they're asking us what must be true. Right? So once again, since we know there's basically only 2 options, so this shouldn't be too difficult to figure out. Okay, so answer is A. Nilsson does not share a specialty with Patton. That doesn't have to be true, right? What if we put Patton in 1990? So let's do this, because we're running out of space here. Right? But if Patton is placed in 1990, they can definitely, or if Patton is placed in 1991, I'm sorry, they can not share a specialty, so answer is A is out. How about B? Exactly 1 professor in 1990? That could be true, right? But it doesn't have to be true, because we can put Patton right here. There could be 2 professors in 1990. That can't be right. How about C? Exactly 1 professor in 1991. Again, that could be true, but it doesn't have to be true for exactly the same reason as answer choice B. Right? You put Patton here, now there's 2. How about D? Exactly 2 professors were hired in each of 2 years. That can actually just never be true, right? Because since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements placed, we're only looking to place P as a 7th element. In order for us to have 2 professors in 2 different years, we would have to have 8 people to place, and we just don't. Right? So answer choice D should immediately be crossed off your list of potentials. And then answer choice E. Patton hired at least 1 year before Sarkis. Yes, that has to be true, right? Because if you put him here, 1 year before. If you put him here, 2 years before. Either way, he is at least 1 year before Sarkis. So answer choice E turns out to be the answer here. The takeaway from this game is mostly that setup can get you everything if you just work at it, right? This game is not particularly complicated once you put in the work to set it up, as long as you go through it mechanically and make sure you're drawing all the deductions. The difficult part of that is to force yourself, discipline yourself, to be able to do that without getting flustered that you're wasting time and rushing through to the questions. Because a lot of these questions would have been made a lot tougher if you didn't have just a clear understanding of how this game works, right? But as it is, since this game is the way it is, it turns into a 1-element game with 3 possibilities that you can just draw out. And that just makes this game, in the end, assuming that you are able to set it up correctly, it makes it a reasonably simple game to understand.